I'm a believer in this concept of sustainable development being the right concept for our time. And I put it in my title, Professor of Sustainable Development, because I wanted to use every occasion to kind of flash the idea of what this is. Sustainable development basically means you want prosperity, okay? You want the economics to be working. But as Mayor Benjamin said, you want it to be fair and inclusive, second pillar. And third pillar is environmentally smart, which is increasingly urgent, obviously, and increasingly costly if we don't operate in a sane way, which, of course, at the national level, we're not doing right now. I'm sure everybody appreciates that in a few days scattered over last summer, we lost $300 billion of property, not to mention lives, in 3 big hurricanes and forest fires, in Harvey, Irma, and Maria, and then the mega forest fires in California. I'm sure everybody here knows that New York City has in front of it at least $20 billion, but actually a lot more, of infrastructure just to guard against the flooding that's going to come with the rising sea levels in the coming decades, what we saw with Superstorm Sandy. So we have to be environmentally smart, and in an era when the United States is more divided economically than in any time in our modern history, and yet we have all this wonderful technology in front of us, we have to do just what Mayor Benjamin said, which is to make sure that this works for everybody. So that's the idea of sustainable development. I call it smart, fair, inclusive as the 3 key words. And it's to take a holistic vision of that. Now, happily, although in a fragile way, at a moment of lucidity, which is not so often, the world's governments all came together out of this mix of fear and hope in September 2015 to adopt sustainable development as the global organizing principle for international development and economic cooperation, and they adopted 17 sustainable development goals. And as you heard mentioned a moment ago, not only do those goals span the smart, fair, and sustainable triad, but SDG 11 was highlighted by these national governments as sustainable cities because they know this is where the life is, this is where the real economy is. Right now, worldwide, 55% of the world's population lives in cities, and it's going to be 70% at least by mid-century, in my view. It's going to come even faster than people think, because cities really are the place where you can deliver services, use the new technologies, create decent jobs, give education, and people are, of course, they're flooding into the cities, sometimes out of desperation, sometimes out of opportunity, or the combination of the two. But the world adopted this. And my thought is, let's use it. It's, these are globally agreed goals. They make a lot of sense. And I think they work at the city level as well as the national level.